This shirt is the ugliest color ever, but I'm oddly attracted to it. All right, so today it is Foundation Friday. Happy Foundation Friday. If you're new here, this is where I do a new first impression video every single Friday on my channel. I'm gonna leave a link to the playlist down below if you want to go ahead and watch any other Foundation Friday videos. So one of my favorite foundations is a Clinique Beyond Perfecting foundation and concealer. I have a full review on that, and I've used that a lot in recent videos, testing out with different primers and stuff. So I was excited to see that Clinique came out with a new foundation product. This is their BIY Blend It Yourself pigment drops. So as you can see, this bottle is freaking tiny. When I got this in the mail, I thought Ulta threw in a free like deluxe travel size thing. Clinique, I think you win the award for the smallest foundation bottle. So the idea of these drops are kind of similar to the Cover FX custom cover drops or the hard candy pigment drops, which I also have a review on. Not a fan of the hard candy ones. The Cover FX drops I do love. They're one of my favorite foundation products. I don't talk a whole lot about them for some reason. I should probably just do a dedicated review on that because I don't think I actually have a dedicated video on that product. But the idea is that these are pigment drops, so you can mix them in with a moisturizer, a primer. You can add coverage to other foundations by just mixing in a few drops. I personally love using my Cover FX drops to add to other foundations to give them more coverage. So let's go ahead and read some of the claims about this product on Ulta. You get 0.34 ounces of product and it retails for $33. The Cover FX custom cover drops, you get 0.5 ounces of product and those retail for $44. So you do get a bit more product in those, but they're also a bit more expensive. So these only come in 12 shades. I have the lightest shade, BIY 105. I'm in the shade N10 for reference in the Cover FX drops. I am going to insert swatches of these drops compared to some of the other foundations that I have. Alright, so swatch time. I unfortunately don't have the Cover FX drops to swatch here. I thought I had them in my room, but I'm pretty sure they're back in the office. So once I'm able to go to the office and grab those, I'll do a swatch comparison of that with the BIY drops on Snapchat. But right here is the Clinique BIY drops in the lightest shade. Next over is the Pure Cosmetics Baradol foundation in the lightest shade Porcelain. Urban Decay Naked Skin foundation in 0.5. Dermacol 208, and then last is Maybelline Fit Me Matte and Poreless in 110, the lightest shade. I'm really hoping they're going to expand the line because for being pigment drops and kind of mixing products, which isn't super great. Clinique's shade range kind of drives me crazy. Their numbering and everything is always really weird. So I did order these online, but I feel like the best way if you want to get shade match is to go into the actual counter because you really never know what you're getting with Clinique shades. So reading some of the claims, it says transform your favorite moisturizer into a BB, CC, or fuller coverage foundation. One drop creates sheer coverage, 2 or 3 a flawless finish. Since Clinique BIY takes on the finish of the moisturizer you blend it with, expect a more matte finish with the mattifying moisturizer or a more dewy radiant finish when blended with a moisturizer that contains optics. So their kind of whole thing with this is mixing it in with a moisturizer. You guys will see during the demo, but I did do half my face with moisturizer and the other half mixing in with foundation, just so you can see how it would mix in with foundation, if there's a difference in coverage and how it applies and all of that kind of stuff. So I have combination skin with cystic acne. I get pretty oily throughout the day on my T-zone. I'm sitting so awkwardly right now. What am I doing? So that's all of the claims on this guy. If you're excited for Foundation Friday, make sure you give this video a thumbs up. If you want to see my thoughts on the Clinique BIY drops and how they apply and wear throughout the day, you're in the right place. Just keep watching. Alright, so it has been an interesting morning. It is 10:30 right now. I've been up since 6. I was going to start filming super early. Is my mic on? Yes. I was going to start filming super early and then totally got sidetracked redesigning my entire blog. So now we are here. I want to start posting more outfit, travel, kind of photo-based posts on my blog. If you're not following there, it's just thetayla.com. But anyways, let's talk about this. I have fairly small hands and look at how tiny this thing is. So I'm going to shake this. Whoa, it sounds very like, oh, okay. So trying to think about the best way to try out this thing because you can mix it with moisturizer, you can mix it with primer, or you can mix it with a foundation to get more coverage. The way that I like to use the Cover FX custom cover drops is by mixing them in with foundation. I love doing that to more sheer medium coverage foundations and getting full coverage out of it. And if it's a good shade match, which my custom cover drops are, it can help to kind of neutralize a foundation or lighten it in some cases. For the sake of this review and trying out this product, I think what I'm first going to do is mix it on half of my face in with a moisturizer just to see how much coverage we can get that way. And then either on the other side or kind of on the entire face as a second layer, I'm going to try mixing it in with my Tarte Rainforest of the Sea foundation. So all I've done right now is wash my skin. I have not moisturized yet. I'm going to go in with the Kim Tai Ofra Wanderlush moisturizer. I've been using this moisturizer the past couple weeks. You're supposed to be able to use this to kind of prime your face as well. So no idea how much I'm going to need of this, but let's start with about a dime size amount. I don't think that's going to be a whole lot because I usually need way more product than that. So it says 1 drop for sheer coverage, 2 drops for medium coverage, 3 drops for fuller coverage. So I'm going in with 3 drops. Whoa, okay, so that drops out really quickly. It's super liquidy, so let's do 2, 3. Whoa, okay, that was like 4. It literally just kind of pours out. I'm not even squeezing the bottle. So I'm gonna go ahead and mix this in. So I would say this is about 4 drops mixed in with a dime size amount of moisturizer. So let's go in on this side and see how well this thing covers. This is supposed to be, it doesn't say full coverage, it just says fuller coverage. And keep in mind when they say 3 drops, I'm assuming that means full coverage for the entire face. The amount of drops they say is probably relative to the amount that you're mixing in with moisturizer and everything. If you have more moisturizer, it'll probably dilute the product more. It smells just kind of like sunscreen. So with the amount that I put out, I just used all of that on half of my face. Not full coverage, even on half my face. I would say we got about medium coverage. You can see my freckles, scarring, everything coming through. It basically just evened out my redness a bit. If this oxidizes, it's going to be too dark. It's hard to tell in this lighting, but it's a tiny bit dark. Nothing horrible though. The finish and everything with the moisturizer looks nice. I think what I'm going to do is actually put that same amount in the 4 drops with the Tarte Rainforest of the Sea foundation on this side and see what kind of coverage we get. I do want to see how both sides kind of hold up throughout the day, so I don't think I'm going to put the foundation all over my face, the Tarte one. Let's shake this guy. If you're new here, this is one of my favorite foundations. I tried this out in one of the first 15 days of foundation and I love it. They just recently came out with this shade, which is Porcelain. This one matches me a lot better than Fair Neutral. This one's a little bit too yellow toned for me, but it can work. So I have a dime size amount of the Tarte Rainforest of the Sea. Let's do 1, 2, 3, 4. Hopefully the color, I didn't think about that. Hopefully the color matches okay on both sides. I might be walking around with 2 different shades on my face today. So the Tarte Rainforest of the Sea foundation on its own is about medium coverage. I usually use 2 layers and build it up to full coverage. So if I can mix something in that gives us full coverage off the bat, hell yeah. I just realized I didn't moisturize this half of my face. Whoops. Okay, so this side with the foundation, I'm getting really good coverage. It almost looks like it's mattifying the foundation a tiny bit. I feel like I'm using way less product than I normally do with the Rainforest of the Sea. I normally go in with 2 pretty generous layers to get the kind of coverage I like, and there's still product left over from that amount. We got full coverage on this side. This is covering everything. This side definitely looks like much lighter coverage, which is expected if I'm mixing it in with a moisturizer that has 0 pigment versus a foundation that obviously has color to it. So I don't need a second layer on this side, which I love. And I still have product left over here. Just to cover my acne down here on my neck, I'm gonna use this just so I'm not wasting product. I still want to see how this side builds up with the moisturizer on a second layer. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to do the same exact amount that I did on the first layer. It seems to be mixing totally fine with both products. I'm not getting any weird separation or anything. Okay, sweet. We got much better coverage on the second layer. This is building to full coverage now with the moisturizer. So on the center of my forehead, I kind of have mixed both, I think, like the Tarte and the moisturizer. This side is looking a little bit more textured around my nose area. It's kind of emphasizing my pores a bit more. I definitely like the look of this side better on my forehead. This looks a little bit more smooth. This one you can just see the product a bit more. But I think it's safe to say 2 layers with the moisturizer is about the same as mixing with 1 layer in the foundation. Keep in mind, I've used twice the amount of drops now on this side. I would say I have about 8 to 10 drops just on this half of my face, and on this side I have the 4 or 5 drops. So if you're wanting full coverage, it probably makes more sense to just mix in with foundation. The cool thing about pigment drops is that you can totally customize them. So if you're going to the beach or it's summer or whatever and you just want more sheer coverage, you could even mix this in with a sunscreen. All right, so up close, here's what my skin is looking like. I think it looks nice on both sides. I don't know if it's gonna totally show up for you guys, but there is just a tiny bit more texture on this side, I feel like. It's just a little bit heavier around my nose area right here. But on the second layer, you can see that it covered my acne and stuff pretty well over here. So it's 10:43 right now. I'm gonna do the rest of my makeup. I'm not sure if I'm gonna set everything with a powder. I typically do with the Tarte Rainforest of the Sea foundation, so I probably am gonna set my entire face. So I'm gonna do the rest of my makeup and I will be right back. Okay, so it's now 11:20. We're gonna call the check-in time 11 o'clock because that's when I finished up my face and everything. These eyelashes are gonna be off in about 5 seconds after I finish filming this. Eyeballs are on fire. So I'm gonna tell you guys everything that's on the rest of my face in a second, but let's talk about how everything is looking. So I did set my face with my Celebration Foundation Illumination in the shade Fair. I feel like I have to sneeze. Sneezing when you just put on false lashes is the worst. Okay, I think we're good. So after putting on the powder, I definitely like how this side of my face looks better. Like I've been saying, this side just looks a bit more textured. It could just be the moisturizer I mixed it with. You could also try mixing it in with a primer. But other than that, I love the fact that I could use only one layer to get full coverage with my Tarte Rainforest of the Sea. Even though the BIY drops look dark, I think I actually do well with the orangey undertone because that's the way that the Pure Cosmetics Bare foundation looks, swatched and everything, but when it's actually on my face, the tone looks right to me. So on the rest of my face, everything that I talk about is always listed down below in the description box. So I use this shade right here from the LA Colors contour palette. I mentioned this in my favorite contour products for pale skin video. And I did feel like this side actually blended out a lot easier than this one. I really had to work to get this one blended, and I feel like it still looks a tiny bit not patchy, it was just more difficult to get like an even blend. Blush is Butter Blush in Natural Glow. I feel like I've used this 5,000 times, but I'm just in love with these. My highlight today, I've been reaching for a lot lately again. This is the e.l.f. Illuminating Palette. Love this white shade right here, Fit Pan. Then I went in with Shannon's palette, the Shan XO BH Cosmetics eyeshadow palette. I used these three, whoops. I just used these two shades on the lid and then this one on the lower lash line. These lashes I'm in love with, mostly the packaging. These are the Black Magic lashes. I showed these on Snapchat doing an unboxing, but look at this packaging, and then on the inside you get a little quote in each one and they open up. Look at this. I love this packaging. I'm wearing the style Fortune. I believe I have a discount code for you guys on this. If I do, I'll put it down below in the description box. And lips, I'm really curious to see how this wears throughout the day because so far I'm really liking this. This is the Makeup Revolution Retro Luxe Matte Lip Kit. You get a lip pencil and a liquid lipstick. These are basically like Kylie Lip Kit dupes. And this is in the shade Noble. And both the lip liner and the liquid lipstick went on super smooth, moisturizing, really nice formula. I'm hoping it totally dries down because this one's feeling a little tiny bit sticky, which I don't really like. Like I said, we're gonna call the check-in time 11 o'clock. The next check-in I do will be in natural lighting. I desperately need to eat something right now. My stomach sounds like it's gonna eat itself. Okay, so it's now 5 o'clock, so it's actually been on for 6 hours. This is a long break in between check-ins, but I was just in the zone working. Eyelashes are already off. My eyes are like on fire. This is why I never wear falsies when I film first impressions. I feel like I just need to rub off all of my eye makeup right now. So I think this side overall looks like it's holding up a tiny bit better. The main area that I noticed a difference is on my forehead. It looks a bit more matte than this side, and also around my nose. So if you can see on this side, it looks a bit caked up around here and definitely looks heavier than this side. So this side still looks pretty smooth. I mean, 6 hours in, this is pretty typical for me. Yeah, it's just kind of separating around my nose area. My forehead doesn't look too different. I just think it looks overall a tiny bit less oily on my forehead on this side. But so far so good. I've been eating a lot today. I'm PMSing. And lipstick is holding up pretty well considering I've eaten some oily foods. You can still feel the stickiness, so it's not one of the lipsticks that totally dries down. I'm gonna try and check in around 9 p.m. We're having someone over for dinner tonight, and then The Bachelor's on. Okay, so it's now 11:03, so everything has been on for exactly 12 hours. I've had a little bit of a rough night with the internet, so I'm just ready to wash this off and go to bed, to be honest. So this has been on for a full 12 hours, and it's not looking too great on either side right now. I feel like this is too bright. Overall, I think it looks better on the Tarte side still, but both sides are super oily. My forehead looks like bad, like looks like you could dig something into it. My skin just looks pretty heavy right now, I would say, but that could just be since it's been on for 12 hours. I like how it mixed in with other foundations. For me, I don't think I would mix it in with moisturizer, but I am going to try it with other foundations. So I'll keep you guys updated, and I'm going to start the check-in right here. All right, so this is my future self coming back at ya. About a week and a half later, I just got back from London, which you guys will hear all about. I'm actually filming a different first impression video today. I thought I was gonna have time to try out this foundation a couple more times and then kind of give my overall thoughts, but I need to upload this Foundation Friday tomorrow. So I don't have any other thoughts from after filming this the first time. When I am able to try out the BIY drops again, I'm gonna update you guys in the description box, and I'll also update you on Snapchat. But with London and pre-recording and recording for this next week that I'm also gonna be offline, it's just been a little bit hectic, so I hope you guys can understand. But just kind of to give you an overall conclusion on what I think about the BIY drops. For me personally, I don't think I would mix it in with a moisturizer or primer. I do like the way that it added coverage to my Tarte Rainforest of the Sea foundation. You guys saw it didn't look great at the end of the day, so I'm not sure if it's just the combination mixed with Rainforest of the Sea or if it's the actual drops, since it did look pretty bad on the moisturizer side as well. 12-hour check-in is very long. I usually do 10-hour check-ins, but I would say these drops are more on the matte side, so if you don't like the illuminating effect that the Cover FX drops give, you might like these ones better since they are a bit more matte. I do think they add nice coverage. As far as the consistency, I would say these are almost up there with the Cover FX ones. Obviously, I haven't tried them out nearly as much as the Cover FX ones, and I do like the smoothing kind of illuminating finish that the Cover FX ones have. These are definitely more matte, and I feel like I saw a bit more texture, but the coverage was there for me. So I'm going to continue to play around with these. I don't think they're like 5 out of 5 stars for me yet, but I don't think they're horrible. So I hope you guys like this video. If you found it helpful, make sure you give it a thumbs up so I know. If you're new here, you can join the Bayrito family and subscribe. I upload Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Foundation Friday on Friday, clearly. Love you guys. Thanks for watching. See you in my next video. Bye.